The Kayfabe Crunch is counted in by last call ring bells. Silence a room in seconds and let our tones reverberate throughout the arena. For over 50 years, Last Call has provided ring bells to some of the top wrestling companies in the world, including TNA. Order now, as our bell end of winter sale ends Friday.
The Kayfabe Crunch. You want news? Come get news.
Good day, this is your Kayfabe Crunch for Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. I'm Freddy Frogsplash. The whole world has done nothing but talk about the deadly threat that could kill us all. And on this podcast, we'll also be talking about Shayna Baszler. Yes, on Sunday, Baszler became the first competitor in history to eliminate all 5 of their opponents inside the Deadly Chamber. After Chris Litmus's incredible report on the Elimination Chamber last week, check it out in issue 24, he will definitely need to update that fatality count. And it's now being reported that due to the brutal acts committed inside the cage, WWE has placed a 12-month ban on Elimination Chamber matches. And now let's get down to the hype-heavy news. Top story: when a man comes unbound. Yes, Becky Lynch opened Raw with an emphatic series of statements for Shayna Baszler. Although she wasn't so mad at her WrestleMania opponent that she didn't run down her list of accolades first. But she punctuated these words by calling Baszler a world-class scumbag. We've dusted off the record books of sports entertainment scumbaggery. And yes, other than Hulk Hogan, Jerry Lawler, and Enzo Amore, Shayna Baszler's name is right here. So, no lies spoken by the man. However, she then referred to Shayna as a charisma black hole. One of our several staff scientists tell us is physically impossible, as the concept of charisma wouldn't function inside an eternal void. So, some lies spoken by the man. And that's science. Now, whether the man's plan can her boogeyman remains to be seen. And in less than 4 weeks, we'll find out if history repeats. Last year, of course, Becky Lynch defeated a legitimate MMA fighter in Ronda Rousey. So we know she can do it. The difference is, of course, that Shayna has trained for longer in the professional wrestling sport combat style. That's a real thing. And as we all know, if you flip WWE upside down, it spells MMA. Hang on a second. No, it doesn't. Why did you tell me that before we started recording? And now it's time for your fast count. The Shayna Baszler chokehold of news.
Angel Garza considers tearaway trunks to jumpstart his career. Charlotte comments.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you see that package? I mean, that package had me all fired up.
Lana misses Raw to shoot a movie with Bruce Willis. After The Fifth Element and The Sixth Sense, Lashley is worried that Lana could be searching for her 7th husband.
Jerry Lawler admits to having arachnophobia, which is surprising considering he's something of a creepy crawly himself.
Rey Mysterio's mask has the word mask written on it in large font, leading many to speculate on the size of his jockstrap. Biggest little man indeed.
Riddick Moss becomes the longest reigning 24/7 champion in WWE history. Or to put it more accurately, the longest reigning champion in 8 months.
The Disciples attacked Kevin Owens as he arrived at the arena, before he could tip his Uber driver, ruining another perfect 5-star rating for the former PWG wrestler.
Sami Zayn wins his first championship in over 5 years, while being in his worst shape in over 15.
Seth Rollins made Aleister Black an offer he couldn't refuse. And, oh, he did? Oh, never mind then.
Ripley strikes Charlotte, sending ripples through the WWE universe, ripping a hole between brands. Fans won't be ripped off attending this year's WrestleMania. Rip Charlotte.
The Kabuki Warriors insult Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. as far as we can tell. Let me just get this straight. We have 3 Swedish translators on retainer, but not a single correspondent who speaks Japanese. Is that right? You know, this whole podcast is a joke. And that's your fast count.
You've been counted out. Please don't break the pods.
MVP chose last night of all nights to market his new stable. He spoke about how he wanted to build it around the solid foundation that is Edge. Now, Mr. Vontavious Porter, we don't know if Edge is a solid anything yet. I personally wouldn't build anything on those shoulders until we've seen him in a few more matches. But that's why I'm reading the news and your checks notes getting speared on Raw by Edge. Well, I guess neither of us know anything. Yes, Edge returned and finally got his hands on Randy Orton by RKOing him in the middle of the ring. Now, with Randy performing several concertos, this could be a sign that the 2 rivals have swapped offensive movesets. Perhaps we'll see Randy execute a perfect spear. Maybe Edge can strike, hitting a punt kick on his rival. Or, if we're very lucky, Orton will dive from a 12-foot ladder and spear Jeff Hardy in mid-air. Orton managed to slither away and escape Edge, who gave chase to the Viper. We know Edge followed, but with no additional update from the scene, we can only assume, because that's what the news does, that they're chasing each other across country to the next town. Aw, just like when they were young. Last night, AJ Styles officially called out The Undertaker for a match at WrestleMania. Well, he called out someone named Mark Calloway, but we have no idea who that is, so we're assuming he misspoke. Styles called him a broken down old man who should have retired after WrestleMania 30. But we hardly think that's fair, as he's a broken down old dead man. Joining me now live via ham radio is Dr. Sirloin, surgeon to professional wrestlers and all-round butcher of buff bodies. Hello, Doctor.
Indeed, hello.
Just quickly, as I know you're busy at the annual Meaty Men from Medicine meeting.
Yes, such a delicious gathering of delegates.
Indeed. So, in your professional opinion, when should The Undertaker have retired? Perhaps WrestleMania 30, as Styles suggested? Or even at 33 after facing Roman Reigns?
Well, WrestleMania 7, naturally.
I'm sorry, just checking my notes here. Was that not the year The Undertaker debuted?
It was, yes.
You're saying he should have retired when his career began?
At this point, he's had more matches that made people cry than made people cheer. If we had the divine choice, the WWE universe would be better if The Undertaker never existed.
Are they calling you for lunch already, Doctor?
I don't know what happened. All the lights in the hotel have gone out. There's no power.
Well, we'll try and get that sorted for you.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God, he's here. No, I was only joking. You can wrestle for as long as you like. Oh, God!
And there's just time for a quick markets report. Black's attack puts the Nasdaq back on track. Matt Hardy diversifies his portfolio. And virus fears may lead to 18 empty arena matches at this year's WrestleMania. That last one is only sort of a joke. Join us Saturday when we'll bring you all the latest from SmackDown and announce the inductees into the Kayfabe Crunch Hall of Fame. We want to hear your thoughts about WrestleMania this year. So, if you're interested in having your voice heard on the Kayfabe Crunch, reach out to us at kayfabecrunch@gmail.com or at Kayfabe Crunch on Twitter to take part in a very special WrestleMania weekend edition of the podcast. That one's not a joke. If you have a microphone, some spare time and a passion for wrestling, get in touch. This has been the Kayfabe Crunch, your not quite daily, not quite news, bump for the world of professional wrestling.
The Kayfabe Crunch is counted in by Last Call Ring Bells. We understand you need every ear in the venue to hear the start and end of every match. For just $99.92, get our complete Ringmaster Pack. which features a classic bell mounted on budget mahogany, and of course, an adorable little hammer. It's just so small. Make last call your best call with Last Call. Call now.
The Kayfabe Crunch.